Hey guys, it's Tommy CM. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new series. Now, if you have seen my teaser for this park, or if you have just seen the thumbnail, I am sure you will be aware that I'm going to be attempting, at least, to recreate Alton Towers in the UK's probably biggest theme park. Whether it's the best theme park or not is a personal opinion. But it's certainly the UK's biggest theme park. I'm going to be attempting to recreate that in Planet Coaster Console Edition. Now, it's important I mention Console Edition because obviously we are limited in terms of the build counter and also limited in terms of not being able to import images. So things like signs, logos, etc. I won't be able to import like PC players can. So some things you will have to sort of bear with me on, but I will do my best. I really want to get this as accurate as is physically possible. The first thing I've got to decide is where to put the entrance. I know that sounds like a weird question. However, the path is down here, but I don't know whether to put the entrance over this way. Now, the reason for that is because Alton Towers has a car park down this side of its park. If you look at the entrance for the other way, and you can either get the monorail from the car park to the entrance, or you can walk down a path around the edge of the park that takes you to the entrance down here. And I'm just trying to work out as to whether I want the guests to be walking down there or whether I want them to just walk straight into the park. And you know, it doesn't matter either way, because if they walk straight in, I'll just build the monorail station, and that will lead to a car park over this way. So yeah, that's my first sort of decision to make. But yeah, I'll catch up with you once I have made a dent into the beginning of the park and the entrance plaza itself. So see you shortly. Hello again. So as you can see, I've made a little bit of progress here. Now, first of all, first thing you'll notice is the corkscrew just here. Now this, for those of you who don't know Alton Towers, this was the original corkscrews from the coaster Corkscrew, which was Alton Towers' first coaster, opened back in 1980 and closed in 2008. Really, I mean, it was a sort of like a standard corkscrew layout. Was very rough towards the end, which is why I think they decided to close it. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I wasn't around back in 1980, but I did go on this towards its, the end of its life, and it was a very rough ride. So I can see why they closed it, but it's nice that they do sort of remember it and sort of, have a nod to it at the entrance here. What else have I got? I've got the little entrance building down here as you come into the park. Now, what Alton Towers has, and what you'll see here, Alton Towers has a car park that is I'd say about a 15-minute walk from the entrance, 10 if you're speed walking. So what I wanted to try and do, and I will kind of make this a little bit more legit later on, it's not just a spray for now. What I wanted to do was give that option. So I've got the guests coming out here, and they can either walk to the entrance or they can get on the monorail. Just like the guests at Alton Towers, you can choose to do both. The monorail layout for now is just, this is just a test really, just a basic layout. I mainly need it for the main entrance, not over here. This can all be adjusted. So yeah, the monorail basically flies through the park and cuts out the path, and then goes over the main entrance just here, through some trees, and then into the station over there. It's always a very colourful building. They always change the colour, so the colour might not be the live colour. But yeah, I've gone for the green and white pictures. I went through Google looking at photos of the station, and the green and white ones looked the best to me anyway. So they are the ones I've gone for. And then one of the photos I saw had stars on, which is why I've done that. And basically, you go on the monorail, you get to the main park, you come down the exit just here, and you come out into the main plaza. Or if you choose to do exercise and walk to the entrance, you basically walk on a really long path around the park, around the edge of the park, to get to the entrance. Now, at the minute, shockingly, I'm on 12% on a PS5 for the build counter. And I completely understand that is because I've got a lot of pathing. The paths take up a lot of the build counter on console. So I do think I need it, but the path will be changing layout depending on how the build goes. What I think I may end up doing with this series, I know before I sort of said, right, well, I may have to do it over sort of 2 parks. What I think I may need to do is sort of build the different areas of the park. So in Alton Towers, you've got the main entrance, Tower Street, and CBeebies Land all kind of at the start. You've got Mutiny Bay. You got Katanga Canyon. I hate saying that one. And which goes on to like Duel in the Forest. And then you go on to the Forbidden Valley where you've got Nemesis and Galactica. And then you can go over to the Dark Forest, which has Rita and 13, followed by the world of David Walliams now. It used to be like the Toyland area, which is for sort of like small riders. And then the final one is you've got X Sector, just the other side of the actual towers themselves, which has the Smiler and Oblivion. So yeah, I may need to. I'll sort of play it by ear and see how much I can do. Because, as I say, I am restricted on the build limit, but I do want to make it detailed. I don't just want to make it a rough outline. Which is, what you can see here. I mean, on these ticket booths down here, we've got the prices. They are the legitimate prices, by the way, if you've never been to Alton Towers. But nobody ever pays those prices because everybody has a 2-for-1 ticket. And also, if you buy it online, it's like 10 quid cheaper. But yeah, those are the actual prices. So yeah, I've tried to make this as detailed as possible. We've got staff working in here, in the little windows as you go through. This is what the fencing basically is like. You've got 2 symmetrical queues there. I've gone for music as well, just to get the atmosphere going in the park. Over here you've got the fast exit. So basically, as you walk down the path in, you do walk around this way, where you get the welcome in, and over here, when COVID restrictions were in place, you'd be sent to a certain queue here. There'd be spray painted on the floor, and you'd go and follow. I've got like little signs going off here, etc. So, but you either do that, and then when you come out, you can go on a speedy exit there, which leads you back down the path here. The reason why I've cut that off for now is because when it joins up, all the guests just choose to go this way because it's quicker. I don't want them to do that. I want them to go the long way and the right way. So I've had to sort of adjust that and kind of cut it off, really. So, but yeah, no, as you go around, as you can see, I've just got windows. I've got an ATM here. There is actually an ATM there. There's, I say posters. There's some vending machines. Just some general adverts. I'd love to be able to put images into this game. I really, really would. I always say it, but it'd be so good if we could actually put our own images in, rather than having generic Planet Coaster ones. But there we go. So yeah, that is pretty much the work so far. If I just show you into the Monorail Station, nothing much going on in here because there's nothing much that goes on in the Monorail Station anyway. The only thing that I could really put on is the little railings, but there's not really much room for that, and they wouldn't use it anyway. So yeah, that's basically where the monorail's at. I've got the driver in the right uniform there. I've got the operator in the right uniform. So yeah, just things like that are what I'm going to be doing in terms of detail. But the Monorail Station's a little bit bland in terms of the actual real life design of it anyway. So yeah, so that's where that is for now. Obviously got the entrance sign for it just here. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to finish off this main entrance part here, and then which will lead onto Tower Street, which is the main street of shops and buildings as you enter the park. So this is where you'd come through the turnstiles, etc. So yeah, that's what I'll just leave you with, and I will hop on and do that just now. Right then, let's venture in. So as you come down this way, this path is obviously still needs a lot of work on it, but I'm not focusing too much of this because it is technically outside the park. This is mainly just a path to get the guests in, and I don't want to waste too many pieces, kind of making the path look more realistic. But I will tidy this bit up, especially just with a bit of fencing and bushes, but probably not until the very end of the park once I'm at 100% really. So we've got welcome to the resort. We've got a few little information signs here. Obviously we can't change the image that's actually on the sign. A lot of the scenery you'll find if you go to Alton Towers is hidden behind rocks. They tend to have like a rock base, and then the planting is sat behind it. And a lot of guests tend to use the rocks as seating, really. So yeah, it's quite a heavy feature. So that is obviously something I'll be doing throughout the park. As you can see there's the entrance to the monorail as we looked at just a minute ago. And there's the edge of the park, or the park of the entrance. And then down here we have a staff room which is actually built on the side of the main entrance. Now that's the main entrance building as we look at it. We'll just take a zoom out and have a look up high at it. Now the only thing that's missing is right at the top of the window there is the Alton Towers logo. That's going to be my stumbling block because I am going to find it very difficult to do the Alton Towers logo. I will try, and if not, I know exactly the guy to ask if it is possible. But yeah, no, I'd love to be able to get the actual logo in. But obviously it would just be one size because unfortunately you can't scale items in this. But I do think overall that is looking very much like the Alton Towers entrance. And I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out. Down here we've got the box office, so this is like a separate place to like pick up like fast passes, etc. You pick up your annual passes, any queries you've got that are different to just buying standard tickets from these little booths. Guests can go over there, and yeah. So I mean that is pretty much the main entrance. We've got these little signs here: annual pass, all tickets, push chairs, and wheelchair. And then if you go through here, down here we have 2 toilet blocks. So that is the very start of the park, and I'm very happy with that. That has taken a lot longer than I thought it would, but as I say, I do want to focus on making it look as realistic and as detailed to a degree. I'm not going like silly with the detail because I know I've got a lot to fit in, and I'll just be filling up the park with pieces. But I do want to make it look realistic. At night time, that's what it looks like, which I think looks really nice. Nice mixture of sort of whites and golds and purples down there. And what I have done with the lights as well is I want to make the lights realistic, so I've kind of hidden them in the ground there, because these are the sort of lights you'd sort of be able to walk on in a path. I've got lampposts here lighting up these ticket booths. Under here I've just got lights shining down to keep the entrances and exit lit. And then over here I've got lights actually sat within the bushes, as you can see one just there, because I want to make it realistic in the sense of you can't just hide lights under the floor and have them work in real life. So I do want that to be a realistic feature. The only thing that's annoying is this little wall sticking out here. You may have noticed, but if I move that wall any further in, it hits the queue for the monorail. So without adjusting that, then that's the only downside I've had so far. Even down to the fact I've put like guttering, and for some reason there's a pipe going through these 2 buildings when I looked on Google Maps. So I've got a pipe going through the 2 buildings. That's the level of detail I'm looking at. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed that. That is episode 1 of Let's Build Alton Towers. And in the next episode, I will be building Towers Street. I've just got to get the terrain right for that because the path goes slightly downhill. So I've got to get the terrain right for quite a large space before the next episode. So that is my challenge next. If you did enjoy it, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see how this park develops. I say how this park develops. If you've been to Alton Towers, you know how it develops. Subscribe to see how I fare trying to recreate Alton Towers. But yeah, I shall leave you with that. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.